Hello and welcome to another planning video. This video is for the month of April, and I do realize I am a little bit behind. I literally just got back from a quarterly business planning retreat, and so I'm kind of playing catch up a little bit on my end. So what I like to accomplish in these videos is just to plan my month of April. Now, there is not a lot actually going on for the month of April for me, besides we're making kind of a shift in my business, and I actually recorded a lot of information about that shift that I'm making in my quarterly business retreat videos. So stay tuned for those videos that will be coming out in a little bit later this month. But I don't want to spend too much time on that because I'll talk about that in detail in those other videos. But aside from that, that major shift that I'm making in my business, we do have just a few quarterly meetings that we're going to be having with clients to talk about January through March. So that's the first quarter of the year, and just talk about kind of like any updates that they have for me. So we'll be scheduling those for the month of April. But otherwise, I'm trying to lay low as much as possible. I felt like I had to recuperate a little bit from the retreat. And aside from Easter, there's not a lot else happening in the month of April, which I'm really stoked about. So what I like to do is first think through kind of like what my movement goals are. Now, I've been doing a really good job of swimming once a week, and I like to increase that a little bit. So the goal that I created for myself for swimming is to swim 7 times this month. My ultimate goal is twice a week. We'll see if I can actually get there. Swimming does take a good chunk of time, so I have to really plan it out in my schedule. And aside from that, I like to do yoga once a week. I like to make sure that I'm walking as many times as I can. So the goal that I have for walking is 5 days a week, yoga once a week, and then I want to continue adding more like weights and strength training. So my goal is to do that 3 times a week. So I list all of those goals on the left-hand side of my calendar. In addition to my movement goals, I also write down kind of like the content, my videos that I'm planning. So for the month of April, I'm planning this April planning video. And then I also have 2 videos coming out for my business retreat. I just have a lot of information in these videos, and I thought it would be better to kind of split it out so that it's just not like one information heavy video. And then I'll just throw in some fun things that we did while we were on our retreat as well. I also have a couple of other video ideas that might be coming down the pipeline. So I wrote that down kind of as question marks. You'll see later in this video, I did make a note to myself on a Post-it because I just needed to remind myself that I need to schedule out one more YouTube video recording day. So I haven't scheduled that one out quite yet. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is, if you haven't already heard, but I do send out a weekly newsletter. So I'll go ahead and leave that link below in the description box so you can sign up to receive my weekly newsletters. In addition to weekly newsletters, I also send out a monthly kind of recap. So it's a little behind the scenes, a little bit of what's coming up for the next month. So the next monthly email that I will be sending is for May 1st. So I also wanted to mention one tiny little thing, that taxes are coming due in the month of April. So that's kind of big. Make sure that you get them in. The due date is actually April 18th this year, but I would highly recommend getting those in before that due date. Otherwise, there's a few other things that I've been wanting to add to my schedule. I can't figure out if it's going to be a monthly or a weekly type of deal, but for one, I want to add in kind of an education hour so that I'm being proactive with taking a class online or just learning, maybe reading a chapter in a book or something like that. And then I also want to add in another hour or so of research each month. So I know that there's a lot of changes that come through, and I just want to make sure that I am staying on top of those changes, so that way if it ever comes up in conversation or even with clients, that I am staying up to date on information in relation to taxes, finances, bookkeeping, all that good stuff. Another fun thing that's coming up for me personally is one of my cousins is getting married, so we'll be attending a wedding shower this month for her and her fiance, and her wedding is early May, so I'm looking forward to that and really excited about that. All the gifts are purchased, so I was on top of it before I even got to my business retreat. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know what you think of these planning videos. If you'd like to see more of them, drop them down in the comments, and I will see you in my next video.